The enigma of close encounters with aliens. Could aliens be ambassadors lacking credentials? Debates and discussions about the long ago events in Roswell are frequent. While this is acceptable, it's conceivable that there may be one or two comparable incidents. On August 9, 1762, in Lucerne, Switzerland, an observer named de Rostad, using a telescope to view the sun, noted its unusual dimming and pale light. He observed that nearly a quarter of the sun's eastern edge was obscured by a nebula circling a dark object. Its spindle-shaped object traversed the sun's disk at less than half the speed of typical sunspots and vanished on September 7, 1762. Furthermore, on the night of August 10 to 11, 1996, a low-flying UFO was reportedly captured on a video over a field near Oliver's Castle in England, followed by the appearance of a new crop circle. Despite some ufologists dismissing the tape as a hoax, the theory that an extraterrestrial intelligence is behind these patterns continues to attract followers. On August 25th and 30th, 1951, the newspaper Centaur Crossing reported that in Lubbock, Texas, hundreds of people, including astronomical observers, witnessed lights flying in a constant cuneiform pattern. An amateur photographer captured images of this event. Subsequently, an official explanation was provided. The photographs depicted reflections of city lights on the undersides of birds flying in formation. On September 27, 1881, an unidentified object traversing the lunar disk, based on simultaneous observations of the event by E.W. Day in the United States and Marwick in South Africa. Its distance was estimated to be between 300 and 400,000 kilometers. On September 12, 1951, a teletype at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base relayed a sensational message. Personnel at Radar Center in New Jersey detected 4 unusual objects, one of which was flying at an altitude of 28 kilometers, a height unreachable by aircraft of that era. This is 1951. Here is an intriguing story as reported by newspaper Centaur's Crossroads, issue number 13 from the year 1997. On September 5th, 1978, at 8 o'clock local time, in the delta of the Volga River, an object with a dim silvery glow and a round shape appeared in the sky. It was positioned at an angle of about 80 degrees to the horizon and had an apparent diameter slightly larger than that of the moon. The object moved swifter than the clouds and was distinctly visible. As it distanced itself from the cloud by about its own diameter, an identical second object followed, caught up, and merged with it. Subsequently, the merged entity continued its trajectory, covering a distance equal to its diameter before vanishing, as if it had been switched off. Both objects were circular with well-defined edges. There was no accompanying sound or other phenomena. Ultraviolet radiation was repeatedly recorded in ancient China. For instance, the Chinese scholar Shen Kuo, who lived in the 11th century AD, described in his work Dream Pool Essays the sudden emergence of a radiant pearl of the gods in the sky near Yanzhou City. He said, "We observed it above the Xinkai Reservoir, where it remained stationary, glistening in the sunlight. Once it appeared very close to the city walls. It unfolded, emitting a golden light as if a broad golden beam had touched the ground. Before long, another pearl, small enough to fit in one's hand, materialized beside us. It expanded greatly, and its intense brightness made it impossible to look at. It moved sideways, casting light over all the dwellings and trees within a 10 li, that's 5-kilometer radius. Then, just as suddenly, it vanished and darkness ensued." An intriguing case is presented in the article about UFOs from the interesting newspaper D number 10, 1997. The author posits that the most intriguing observation of the 19th century occurred in November 1882, witnessed by English astronomer N. Maunder and J. Nyland. Late in the evening from the Greenwich Observatory, they witnessed the aurora, and unexpectedly in the northeast, they spotted a glowing olive-colored disk. It was drifting slowly at an altitude of approximately 150 to 200 kilometers above the Earth. As it approached, the body morphed, elongated into a slender ellipse. Within 2 minutes, the object had vanished from view. Upon analyzing the observational data, scientists determined that the object was traveling at an altitude of at least 200 kilometers with a velocity of 16 kilometers an hour. The object's dimensions were astonishing, approximately 110 kilometers in length and 15 kilometers in width. Despite its immense size, its true nature remained undetermined. During the nights of July 4 to 5th and July 17 to 18, 1990, a UF was sighted over Yalta. It appeared around 10 to 11 p.m. and remained visible until 3:20 a.m., bearing the resemblance of a classic flying saucer with rays emanating from it. Between these two sightings, another phenomenon occurred over the same location. On July 13, 1990 at 7:30 p.m., and again on July 18, 7:40 p.m., a bright silver-colored UFO appeared, this time shaped like a cigar. Moreover, in July 1990, what local ufologists referred to as the main base UFO made its appearance. Stars detached from this main object, which traversed the area, hovered over power lines and television antennas, this is in 1990, and then rejoined the main base, quote unquote. Concurrently, significant disruptions were reported in television broadcasts and unusual animal behavior was observed. On September 11, 1967, astronomers observed an object in the Mare Tranquillitatis on the Moon, Mare Tranquillitatis of the Moon, that appeared as a dark rectangle with purple edges. It traversed from west to east for approximately 8 to 9 seconds. The object became visible near the terminator line, and 13 minutes later, close to the Sabine crater and within the sunspot's trajectory, a very bright light flashed momentarily. 20 days later, in the Sea of Tranquility, Harris observed a luminous object moving at a speed of 80 kilometers an hour. The examples provided above are deliberately unsystematic and unconnected, reflecting the manner in which UFO information typically reaches ufologists. The volume of such information is vast. On average, semi-professional ufologists encounter 2,000 to 3,000 cases before reaching a point of saturation, and sometimes even more. This figure encompasses both genuine incidents and deliberate or accidental misinformation efforts targeting ufological research. Hence, the guiding principle for ufologists and eniologists alike is to remain open to all possibilities, yet without belief. Without serious and, where feasible, exhaustive analysis of the facts, it's indeed impossible to conduct a comprehensive examination of any UFO sighting incident. Such an endeavor is purely utopian. No matter the effort and time invested, the number of questions only seems to grow. Even if it were possible to gather all conceivable scientific equipment at the site of the saucer sighting in advance, would that suffice? Debates frequently emerge from the analysis of such observations where subjective factors intertwine with objective ones. These are influenced by the individual's internal, subconscious stance on the issues of UV radiation as held by various eniologists or ufologists. This stance, in turn, is shaped by numerous factors, among which intuition is not insignificant. We can delve into the facts and occurrences in Mexico. In Mexico, the phenomenon of remarkable strength and intensity has persisted for years. In 1996, researchers obtained 5,000 videos recording of UFO flybys, with approximately 2,000 being of high quality. And it's noteworthy that the frequency of mass sightings of these objects has risen in recent years. Look what's happening, for example, in the East Coast of the United States lately. Additionally, the witnesses have included numerous aviators, police officers, military personnel. There has also been physical evidence presented of UFO landings. In this context, it would be intriguing to learn how UFO debunkers will approach the situation this time. What atmospheric effects will they propose to explain the events described? And this is on Solask. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.